Hello. So what we're going to do today? Today the mission is to gold strip bed plate and upper works of an Edison Class B. Sorry, Edison Class M. So the paint of this one was absolutely in pitiful condition to the point that it required a complete strip down uh, and, um, and new paint. I have recorded the condition of the paint, and as you can see here, let me find the picture. Here, for example, as you can see, the rust was under the paint, so it was just a lost case, you see here. So I was cleaning it, and as soon as I cleaned this, the rust continued to get inside the paint, and the paint was flaking, and well, it was not possible to restore. You can also see here, and also there was another problem. Here you see like a cloud here. This Edison Class M was stored in a wood case, and a bottle of green paint was put on top of it, and it looks like the bottle leaked, and it was a huge puddle of green paint all over here that have dissolved the paint and have attached to the old paint, so it was impossible to remove. I spent days and days trying to remove it layer by layer, and it was not possible. So I agreed with the owner to strip the paint and start all over again. So what do we need for gold stripping? Well, you can be an old school guy and use a mechanical pen like this, or you can even use the where are them? Let me find them. The brushes for pin stripping, like this one. Like this one. This is for thicker lines. It's a brush with very long hair, and you apply it, and you just slide it. You have to have a very good hand on it, but it can be made. But nowadays we have another option. At least in Europe, we have a brand called Rotring. These were made when I was a kid, so about 35 to 40 years ago, and they are designed to be used with ink, but with careful modifications you can load it with gold paint and use them for making these lines. For paint, you have to use a specific paint for doing this kind of lines. This is Titan Gold. You have in two colors, gold, reddish gold or yellow gold. In this case I use the reddish gold because the other is a little bit too bright. And then you need to make yourself some rulers like this one. Okay, I make plenty of them. The trick here is to have the edge, you can see it here, the edge curved. Why? Because when you place it, you don't want the edge to touch the surface, because then the gold paint will sweep inside. Sorry. So I make plenty of them. I have a scissor by my side, so if I have to use it in a place that touches something, I just cut it, or I cut it to length or whatever. Then you have curved sections like this one. Okay? Here, two things. First is that you cannot use a ruler here, or you have to make a specific ruler for this. And the other thing here to take into consideration is that you have, well, it's very difficult for me to say that, but you don't have to be better than the Edison workers. If you see here, for example, the distance between this and this to the border and here is much narrower here than here. Okay, so it was done like on the go, a little bit loosely. Okay, and you have another here, for example. I was discussing this with the owner. This line is not parallel at all with the casting. Okay, it's really at an angle. Or, for example, this is the most worst work on the bad work on the gold stripping, but it was not like that. You see here, it's almost touching the edge. Here you have about 3 millimeters. Then you go again, almost touching the edge, and then you have, instead of a straight line, you have here a curve here. Okay, so I will try to make it as good as possible, but don't be too concerned if your lines are not completely straight, because they were not straight at the beginning. Okay, well, so I have these rulers, and for the curves what I use is this contraption I made. You put this here, and this is a ball bearing, and you can adjust the distance here. So you can go, let me make an example. So you can use it like this. Okay. Okay, so let's start. Let me pause the video and prepare everything so we can start doing some lines. Okay, here we are again. So what you will need? The rulers, the mechanical pen, the bearing, some paper, because the gold paint has only one mission in his life, is to get into everything, in your fingers, in your nails, in the desk, whatever, in your clothes. So you need plenty of paper around to clean it, and use gloves also, because gold paint will get everywhere. So let me, sorry for the noise, this is a real life video, you know. I'm not going to edit, almost no edition, because I don't have time for that. So let me start. In this case, I'm using a 0.8 millimeters. 0.8 millimeters is around 132 inches. Okay, first thing you have to do is clean it, because gold paint will get everywhere. Look, you see? Then let's do a little test. I have another bed plate here for doing tests. Okay, looks good. So far so good. Then you take the ruler and, without thinking too much, because then you will not do any line at all, you do your first line. Okay, here it is. So now you have two edges that are wet, so you have to choose another place to make the line without touching this one. So let's go to the other side. you check that you don't have paint in the ruler. And again, you do your new line. Here it is. Okay, not too shabby, as the English say. So now I cannot do anything else in this bed plate because I will touch the corners. So I will ruin what I did. But I have the upper works also. So let's try a difficult one, a curve, for example. Okay, I don't know if to do this one that is even more difficult because it's at more distance, or this one that have a straight edge here. I don't know. By the way, if if you miss a line, there's a trick here. Let me explain it before doing any other line. There's different kind of painter. You have painter based on turpentine, like this one. Gold paint is based on turpentine. Then you have acrylic paints based on solvent or based on water. And then you have shellac based on alcohol. Okay, so what this is important because if you paint, for example, the black paint with an enamel that dissolves with turpentine, and you miss or you do an error with the gold paint, you cannot clean it because as soon as you put turpentine on the paint, you will erase the gold, but also you will dissolve the black paint. But if you use synthetic or a acrylic paint as black paint, then you can clean the gold paint without affecting this paint. If you are very purist, you have to instead of painting it, you have to Japan it. Okay, the Japaning technique is based on asphaltum. It can be done nowadays. I have the recipe, I can do it, but believe me, it's not something you want to do if you have a family or you want to have the family after doing that, because you have to. It's like applying a thick paint, and then you have to bake it twice in the oven, and the stink of that baking process is something unbelievable. It's like when you are living in a house and they put a new layer of asphalt in the road near your house. You know that stink smell will last for days and days at home, and you know you don't have to share that much patience with your family. They will just not support it. It's horrible, absolutely horrible. So let's see what line we have to do here. Of course, it will be the last page. This one. Okay, so it goes until here, more or less. Okay, so I'm going to try to do this one. Okay. me clean. You see gold paint getting everywhere? You see me? It's absolutely crazy. Okay, so let me try to do it while I on focus with the camera. There it is. Okay. Now, of course, I have to leave that without touching. But again, I can do what else I can do here. These ones are from the other side, but I can do this one, for example, right now. Also, I can do this one. Okay. So let's do that. Have to remove this peg. I put pegs on every hole to avoid the paint going inside. Houston, paint is not flowing. Okay. Let's try again. Okay. And this will be the last line of this video. Okay. So that's it. That's it. I hope you enjoyed this little video, and I will post some pictures as soon as I finish all the lining. Okay, have a nice day. Bye.